Hey, y'all. Hey.
What's up?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday.
Happy President Obama's Day.
Yay. Well, we are here this week just to follow up on some things that happened last week, and baby, there's so much to talk about. But we're gonna still make sure to put our shit on it, talk about how it affects us, and how we can do what we can do to make sure that we do better. So first, Anthony had a situation in Detroit that I don't think is national news. I didn't know about it until you sent that message. And it goes to show that in all these cities, there's a lot of little things that's going on that we have no idea about. That we down a lot of these organizations because they don't do anything and they don't do anything. But you don't know how many small events that happen that these local organizations that are taking care of that the big ones probably can't get to, or the big ones have assigned to these smaller organizations.
Right.
So we have to be mindful that everybody, the big people can't take care of everything. And so we have to.
And the news outlets have changed, you know what I'm saying? Since Trump has taken control over everything, all the major news outlets, he's just about gained control of all of them. So it's like we're not getting the news. I mean, my thing is Al Jazeera, Joy Reid. I mean, if you're not connected to those people and maybe some people that are in other countries, you're not gonna really know what's going on.
Yeah, we had talked about that before. But I will say this, though. The good thing, social media does have some positives.
It definitely does.
Because it just depends on who you know or who your algorithm is with. You can't predict some of those stories across the country and the world. So that's what happened, like Facebook, etc. And that's what happened here. It did get a little airtime on Facebook, but again, it depends on your algorithm. Since I'm locally, I would get more than probably you guys. That's why I sent it to you. So the story goes here, and Anthony did not have the encounter. Chicago, like Anthony had a situation. I did.
He know the story. My bad. He know the story that we need to know about.
I got my situations, but not this one. So we got that cleared up. So what happened last year in the city of Warren, which I reside, which is a small suburb of Detroit? It's just really a border town. But nonetheless, some police officers, which were white, and Warren is kind of a white city that had a history of racism, etc. And it still does, but nonetheless, a white police officers about 1 a.m, give or take, they were driving on the residential roads at a high speed, over 100 miles an hour. No lights, no sirens. 2 young black guys were out together that particular night, and they claim they drove down the street the wrong way, but nonetheless, the police at that high speed had an accident with them and killed them both, 2 of the black guys.
James Burke wept as the verdict came down today.
Count 4 for public officer willful neglect of duty. We, the people of the jury, find the defendant not guilty.
We have been following the manslaughter trial of James Burke for more than a week now. Prosecutors say Burke was driving more than 100 miles per hour without any lights or sirens when he crashed into Cedric Hayden Jr. and DeJuan Pettis. 7 News Detroit reporter Tierra Braddock was in the courtroom hearing from family members outside after the verdict came down.
The jury deliberated for more than 4 hours before returning not guilty verdicts in the James Burke trial. There was a mix of emotions in the courtroom as the verdict was read.
Count 1 of manslaughter of Cedric Hayden Jr. To the people of the jury find the defendant not guilty.
Okay. 2.
Count 2 of manslaughter of DeJuan Pettis. To the people of the jury find the defendant not guilty.
Former Warren police officer James Burke was in tears as he hugged his family moments after the jury returned not guilty verdicts on Thursday. He was facing 4 charges, including manslaughter.
The defendant acted in a grossly negligent manner.
Prosecutors say in 2024, Burke was driving down Shaner Road at around 115 miles per hour without lights or sirens as he was responding to a call of a stolen car. Burke crashed into Cedric Hayden Jr. and his friend Dewan Pettis. Both Hayden and Pettis died due to the crash. Burke's partner, who was in the patrol vehicle with him, was seriously injured.
The defendant, who easily had his hand right near the controls, would have turned on his lights, as he should have, according to the law, and not been driving at an excessive speed of 115, 108 miles an hour just seconds before the crash, we would not be here.
Burke's defense attorney argued that Hayden Jr., who was driving the SUV that was hit, was under the influence of alcohol and made an illegal turn, and that's what caused the crash. A medical examiner testified that Hayden Jr.'s blood alcohol level was more than twice the legal limit.
He ignored the public safety for everyone on the road, not Officer Burke.
Hayden Jr.'s father, Cedric Hayden Sr., says he doesn't think justice was served for his son or his friend.
I don't think this was a fair trial. I think it was a sham from the beginning.
The Hayden and Pettis families have a civil lawsuit pending against the Warren Police Department.
All we wanted to be justice on both sides. We know that man didn't wake up that morning and say, hey, I'm finna go kill 2 people, but you did. You should be accountable for it.
In Mount Clemens, Tierra Braddock, 7 News, Detroit.
They weren't brothers, but you know what I'm saying, my brothers, Afro-Turner. And they died, so they just got their trial, and they were acquitted. They were found not guilty. And this police officer drag racing or gunning that engine illegally, improper conduct for police to behave with unmarked, with no sirens, no lights, high speed, residential, 100 miles per hour. And he was found not guilty for killing those 2 individuals.
What's sad is I wouldn't give him capital murder. I wouldn't even give him murder. That's still a manslaughter. That's still vehicular homicide. That's still, I don't even want to say criminally negligent homicide because that's too light. That's too light. But that's still a homicide case if nothing else. You didn't mean to set out to kill those 2 people, but you did. And
but as an officer, what he was doing was wrong. You was high speed through a residential, no siren, no nothing. Y'all just joyriding. And 2 lives were taken away, and you just get to walk away.
You got to get something.
Which take us to Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo Anthony in Texas. He was 17 at the time. He's 19 now because it's been 2 years. And the thing about it is, those twins were getting. We got 2 white boys, both weigh over 200 pounds. They were getting ready to beat him, and he knew that. He could feel it. You know, instinct could tell you something about to go wrong. You know what I mean? So what he did was he went to work on one so I could get y'all off of me. It's either I take this beating and y'all beat me to death and we know y'all gonna walk away, or I gotta get on one of y'all and get y'all off of me. And that's what he did. And now he got to serve 35 years.
I said at the end of the last show, I said the homicide, but no, I'm going with criminally negligent homicide. I feel like, yes, he was defending himself. Don't get me wrong. But something, I hate to say take a tone for your actions type of deal. I don't want to sound like that. But trying to be fair in the same county, which I'm going to put a sticker right there because I'm going to talk about this county thing. But in the same county, a year or so before, a little boy that was, he was 18, had the same crime, stabbed somebody, and he got criminally negligent homicide and got 2 to 5 years. He ain't in there more than 10 years.
What the sad part about it is the judge wouldn't even allow the full video that somebody took the full video when they started punching him and shoving him and pushing him around. It was more than just the twins. You know what I'm saying? They were pushing him from person to person. They were shoving him around. They didn't want him under the tent, but the judge would not allow that tape to be admissible in the courtroom. He wouldn't allow it.
We're gonna come back on that county.
Yeah, he wouldn't allow it. You know what I mean? So, and then to find out Texas don't have the law stand your ground, but Texas don't have stand your ground. Are you serious? When my sister told me that, I was like, you got to go back and read that, sis, because I know Texas got standing ground as racist as they are down there. She was like, no, they do not. They do not have the standing ground law.
It's just sad because the family believed in that man to protect their son. And when I saw, I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. I think a lot of black people do that. They get the white attorney to try to sound to look more aesthetically pleasing. But that man did not do right by that boy. When that jury, the way that jury happened, that said enough.
Defender, all white jury.
Well, he didn't get a public defender. They had a hired attorney. And from my understanding, they were collecting money from these donation type things. What is it? GoFundMe's or what have you. And as it was rising, his price was increasing. So it's like he really took all that money or attempted to take it all. So I saw the mother and father on an interview, and the father did most of the speaking, and he said they really didn't know how to proceed. They said they went to black attorneys and they asked them to represent their son, and they all turned them down and suggested a white attorney, just like Shakira said, for the aesthetics of that particular county. So it's a lot going on, and by us not being legal eagles, we really don't get the intricacies of the law or how to do the court process. Now, if the judge had that video or that prosecution had that video, or the judge wouldn't allow it to proceed, or the defense, then that may be grounds for an appeal. I don't know what that process is for appeal. Yeah, you should always appeal. You should always appeal, no matter what. Always appeal.
Well, that video is one of the grounds. The second grounds of appeal is the guy. There's a guy in Oklahoma, a white guy, Oklahoma, Colorado, something like that. He was wrongfully imprisoned. He got his law degree in prison, and so now he does a lot of appeals and things like that for people. And he wrote an appeal as well because of the same thing that I was thinking as far as the attorney goes. There's no way for that attorney to allow the judge, the jury. It was misrepresentation. That baby did not have a jury of his peers. He had those 3 Asian women. They took the black people off of the jury because they wouldn't convict black people, but they said the defense was because they were educators. Well, 2 of the white women on the jury there were educators. So the attorney did not do his due diligence when they went through that jury pool. And the guy in Oklahoma, the white guy, is filing an appeal based on that alone. Not letting the video in, also not letting, crossing any of the witnesses. They literally had no defense. They never spoke up for that baby.
They definitely did not do their job.
Like, how can you defend somebody without even standing up and opening your mouth? That's judicial misconduct. Like he didn't have a chance. And that family paid you all of his money and you never gave him anything. And when I say we're going to go back to this county again with the little white boy who was 18 and got those, I think it was only 10 years. I think it was 10 years he got for stabbing a boy when his case should have been murder because he had it documented that I'm going to fight you. They were fighting over and over again in the bathroom. He had threatened the boy.
Being bullied. He was being bullied.
He was a bully. And you say that it's about the conservatism of that town. That white boy did the same thing.
So remember when we were asking you the question about like what would happen if it was
the other way around?
Yeah, let's see what would happen if it was the other way around. Local news. Case in Allison gets maximum. Case in Allison gets maximum sentence of 10 years for deadly stabbing at Belton High School.
White man.
Allison was convicted criminally of negligent homicide by a jury in April following the death of fellow student Joe Ramirez at Belton High School. Belton, Texas. Case in Allison was sentenced to 10 years in prison Tuesday for the deadly stabbing of Joe Ramirez, marking the conclusion of a high-profile case that has deeply impacted the Belton community. Sounds word for word just like this same community in Texas as well that's been deeply shaken by this. A judge later found that a deadly weapon was used or exhibited during the incident, which expanded the maximum sentence for Allison. He was gonna get like 5. He faced between for Austin Metcalf it was 4 to 99. It could have been 2 to 20 if they got him the manslaughter. For he faced between 2 and 10 years in prison. On the morning of
that means this nigga what? He already damn near halfway through his sentence. He gonna get on good behavior next year.
I believe he was 7. Yep, he was 18 at the time. On the morning of May 3rd, so he was older than what he was. He was already a grown man when it happened.
When it happened.
Allison, who was 18 at the time, they broke out in a fight in a bathroom, which is even more murky than this fucking track.
Because there's no camera.
Because now I don't even know the reputation of the kids, because you know the bad kids be getting in a fight in bathrooms. Bad kids don't get in fights at track meets.
Nope.
After the stabbing happened,
3.7 GPA, by the way.
3.7 GPA. Yeah, I thought it was 3.8, 3.8 GPA. So he stabbed the nigga in the bathroom and then left the campus, and they shut the campus down because they thought it's like an active like shooter or stabbing situation.
So
Allison was later arrested off campus while Ramirez was taken to the hospital where he would later die. During the trial, witnesses testified about the tense relationship between Allison and Ramirez, even stating that Ramirez pulled a gun on Allison following a prom after party before.
So this is worse.
Ramirez's ex-girlfriend also stated that
this is first degree murder.
Ramirez's ex-girlfriend also stated that the fight was supposed to happen off campus and that Allison, the one who went to jail, admitted to wanting Ramirez on life support. Allison, the one who went to jail, admitted to wanting Ramirez on life support. Quote, 10 years maximum.
That case is what motherfuckers wished the Anthony case was.
Yeah.
Same thing. Well, worse. And he was an adult when it happened, and he got years.
Yeah, and the sad part about it is the white twins. Their uncle is the warden over the facility that they're about to send Carmelo Anthony into. He's the warden. Wow. You know what I'm saying? And the dad and the prosecutor, the DA, the judge, all them, they hang out together. They are friends.
Well, I know they had a picture of the dad, I think, with the prosecutor. So they did show that. So to me, the prosecutor should have excused himself because of that connection, because you don't want any hint of impropriety. But again, white people do whatever they want to do, when they want to do it, however they want to do it. And especially white men. White men have a fraternal order. They're going to protect each other no matter how egregious, how awful, whatever you taint, they will protect each other. I mean, it's just unconscious.
I mean, it's their country. I mean, at the end of the day, the country belongs to them. You know what I'm saying? People hate when I say that, when I be on other, talking to other people or whatever the case may be. They hate when I say that. No, the country belongs to God. Okay, all right, cool. But the country belongs to the white man.
Well, it may belong to God, but they're running it.
To the white man.
Running it. For sure.
He has allowed them.
They belong.
Yeah, they're running the show. That's
God,
for sure.
Higher
they're in the
power,
driver's seat.
Jesus, or whoever we want to call them, you know what I'm saying? Allah, whoever has allowed these people to be in control for all these years.
It's crazy. Yeah. And then
and we just in the middle, we get no say about nothing. They're taking away rights, they take away voting rights, they take away women's rights, they take away everything. They redoing the White House, and American citizens, taxpaying citizens, we get to sit back and watch and all we can do is talk about it to each other. You know what I'm saying? Because
that's a double-edged sword, because yes, they're taking things away, but why are they taking them away after we gained them? Because not enough of us got our asses up and sit our ground.
Well, they voted in the 60s. That's how we were able to get those rights.
Exactly. They voted in the 60s.
They voted.
In the 80s and the 90s, they didn't. So here we are.
Yeah, I mean, the knowledge of marriage. They didn't. I mean, they don't know about midterms. You know what I'm saying? Black people have not been educated about politics like they should be.
And they purposely did it. And so it's the double-edged sword where we didn't get our asses up, and so now we here and we complaining. So now we need to get our asses up. We're gonna go back to that because I know
we did get up. You said we didn't get up, but we did get up. We had over 25 years of voting from 60 to over 25 years of voting with no interruption.
That's just not true, because we did not get up in large masses. The time that Black people got up was the 60s and when Obama got in. So the voting drifted away. You saw all the campaigns that were going forward this past election, how the Black men were fading away from the Democratic Party, and even the so-called celebrities was talking bad. We had an Arab representative here Talita Rashid, who is the U.S. Congresswoman, took John Conyers' spot. She told people here not to vote for Harris because of whatever the reason was, but her culture disrespects women. They don't like black people, period. And they have that hierarchy of a womanhood, but her ass got elected. So it was a lot of variables here, but black people didn't, because I told you before, Detroit is the largest block in Michigan. When he ran the first time against Hillary, it wasn't enough people in the city of Detroit to go out and vote. Black folk, he could have lost the state. Hillary could have won. And it was only a margin of a few thousand votes. It wasn't a whole lot of votes. It wasn't like it was millions. So those thousands of votes she could have gotten in Detroit, he would have never won Michigan.
Wouldn't want Michigan, that's true. But what I'm saying is, from the time the voting right was passed in the 60s up until, you said President Obama 2008, but there were times where everybody was crazy about Jimmy Carter because he was the first black president. You know, there were times where, so the voting was there. It just wasn't there in our community. You know, I would say that it wasn't there in our community because our people, lack of knowledge, you perish. They knew nothing about midterms. They knew nothing about
midterms. They just didn't give a damn.
They didn't give a damn because we made it. We got the rights now. We comfortable. We don't have our leaders.
And the so-called leaders, after Dr. King died in 68, the leaders.
Because we got it. I feel like this is my belief. No one stepped up again because we got it. I mean, we had Jesse Jackson. We had what's the other man?
Andrew Young, Lewis.
Yeah, we had we had those people, but it was in a different capacity because at that point we got it. We got the voting rights. We got civil rights act. We got all this stuff. We comfortable. We don't have to talk about it anymore. We don't have to fight for it because we have it. But what we should have been doing is fighting to maintain it.
So what you're saying is all that they went through in the 60s to get this right, and after Dr. King died in 68, these supposed to be Jesse Jackson, smart men, leaders, whatever the case may be, they felt like we overcame. So we're gonna stop here.
I don't think it was that. I think what it was, they felt that particular battle was already won. So it was time to go after another fight. And Jesse took the fight towards corporations. I told you, Jesse got black dealerships, black people into auto dealerships under his leadership. And he went to Hollywood and got more black actors in production roles and things like that. So the fight was there. They just took it to another level. They started fighting for other things. What I'm saying
is, though, because when they signed the bill into law, it was only for 25 years. They had to come back every 25 years and revisit the voting rights law.
They didn't feel a need. See, what you're doing is you're doing Monday morning quarterbacking. You're seeing it in hindsight vision, which your view is clear because you already know the outcome. So they thought what they thought at the time was the best line of attack. And again, they moved towards corporation, getting us some money in our pockets, getting us some jobs, getting us the suburbs for nicer homes to afford those things. So the voting right and equal rights was a part of the 50s and 60s. Then they took the fight to those areas. And I'm not mad at them at that because, again, they thought that was resolved. Let's fight something else.
And now here we are because, I mean, they're not, like you said, hindsight is 2020. Somebody should have stayed on the political fight.
They couldn't have got greedy. They had to line their pockets as well as individuals, for their families and stuff. They got in on the.
They deserved that though. They needed to.
I'm not mad at anybody making their money.
Yeah, they were. I feel like it was time for them to go.
But I just feel like out of these group of black men who's supposed to be educated, smart, nobody stopped and said, wait a minute, hold up. Now that Dr. King gone now, we still got to keep an eye on these white folks and possibility of them coming in trying to take our rights back. Nobody saw that?
No, because we've overcome. I mean, I hear what you're saying and I feel it because like you say, hindsight is 2020, and I'm thinking now, like, damn, somebody should have stayed in that. We needed Fannie Lou still for that fight, but like Anthony said, we moved to a different fight because we felt like we already had it.
Yeah.
And if I was back then, I think I would feel that same way too. Like, we already got it. Let's go on to the next thing. Why are we beating a dead horse type of deal? But here we are. We back at it. So now we know better. Don't let history repeat itself. Let's do it now.
They did a good strip down job.
They sure did.
They did a good strip down job. And the sad part about it is when I'm on, because I'm on social media. I don't right now. I don't have a life. My life is taking care of my mom, so I'm on social media a lot. And you see Black people. It's just so sad to see Black people getting on here, and just riding with other races, just riding with them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we need a coalition. But I agree, our fight is definitely our fight. But back to Carmelo Anthony. So I heard her on the radio this morning. It was an attorney. I don't know her name. And she said, and she was Black. And she said, based on what she heard and the things that she saw, he did not have self-defense. It was not going to work. She said, because there's a thing in Texas, it's called equal force. You can't meet equal force with a knife and a fist. That's not equal force. And there she said she knew he was going to get convicted. She knew.
Is that the dark-skinned lady with the funny shape?
I don't know who she was because it was a radio interview, so I didn't see her.
Oh, okay.
Well, they don't have stand the ground, and you can't defend yourself when you know somebody getting ready to jump on you. When you know I'm standing here, I weigh 150 pounds.
You can't use fatal force.
Okay, but I weigh 150 pounds.
Though, if somebody break in your house and they got a knife and you shoot them and you're facing them, you as the homeowner can get charged because that man come on you with a knife. You're not, and you're going with them as a gun. That's not equal force. So,
okay, so if I'm standing here 150 pounds, two big young white boys, both of them over 200 pounds apiece, they're getting ready to beat the shit out of me. They're getting ready to beat me down. They're finna take my life. And I can't have no kind of way defend me.
You can, but you have to accept the consequences if something happens. That's why I said
and yes, still we come on here and we beg people to go and vote and all of that, and we have nothing to protect us.
But that's where you're supposed
that's what I'm saying. That's why I said from jump, self-defense. You can't. He has to have some type of consequence because. And me not being a lawyer knew that if them boys coming at you with your hands and he got a knife, self-defense was not going to be it.
Well, when he started out, he didn't have the knife. When they started pushing him around, he didn't have the knife. He went to his bag and got the knife. When they started pushing him around, he didn't have it in his hand. He went to the bag and got it because I'm going to get your ass. I'm going to get y'all off.
But you still missing it, cuz.
I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it.
Yes, you are. Because
I understand that people who do wrong have more rights than people that do right in this country.
That's not the point I'm saying. What I'm saying, if that happened, what you just said, he went back and got a knife and
he went to the bag that was on the bleep. It was just right there. He just reached over, got it, and went to work on one of them because both of them was trying to get at it.
But you still missing it. If he had the knife, why did he carry a knife? That's number one.
Because he was being bullied when they moved into this town. When his parents decided
but you missing it because when you carry a weapon, you are premeditating.
I carry a gun everywhere I go, cuz.
You can carry a gun. You can carry a gun, but the knife, do you know a knife, if you look at the law, a blade supposed to only be a certain length, and anything longer than that, that's illegal to carry. Even some things that you use for your nails, if it's beyond that length, it's illegal, and it can get you.
So what we have to do now,
hold on, and it can get your ass locked up. So that's the point that I'm saying. If he had the knife on him, that worked against him because that was premeditated. That he took a knife for his protection, which is illegal. You can't carry a knife.
But okay, so now we got to mount up our kids, and in their book bag, they're gonna have like a little 22 or something like that, because we know the schools are not gonna protect them. We know the laws are not gonna protect them. I don't want to get the phone call that my niece done been beat to death by 3 girls in the bathroom because the school didn't do anything about it. The law not doing anything about it. She needs to be protected.
I think we looking at these situations as the masses when there are 10,000 schools and these situations happen in 200 of the 10,000 schools. They do a lot of due diligence to make sure these things don't happen. However, the ones that do happen and they get through, we have to know what the laws are. And in this Carmelo case, yes, that baby had a knife. He should not have had a knife, but glad he did because he is still alive. However, his life is still taken. But wait a minute, his life is taken.
Well, we don't know if it saves his life.
We have to know that there are consequences for all of those actions. No matter if we are defending ourselves or not, when we do fuck shit's gonna happen back. Unfortunately, there are consequences, good and bad, for everything that we do, and there are reasons that we have it. Like you said, these kids go to school and they carrying a gun in their bag because they've been bullied, and we've been telling, and there's no evidence for it. They can't prove it, so the kids feel like they have to do whatever they have to do. It's still gonna be consequences for that, unfortunately.
There's evidence because the kids come home with black eyes and big lips and broken nose, and so it's evidence. It's just nothing is being done. There is apparently maybe there's no law to protect.
No, there's plenty of laws to do it. No, there's plenty of laws to do it.
There's laws because first of all, a child can't carry a weapon. Period. So your child can't carry a knife or a gun or anything that's considered a weapon to school. Period. So him having a knife on him, he was wrong from.
I gotta step away, y'all. Y'all go ahead. Keep on.
Yeah, he was wrong from the jump.
I'll pull you down.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We good? We pause it.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. Yeah. So he was wrong from the jump. I don't know all the particulars of this case because I wasn't there. I've heard many stories about a video. They say it was a widescreen video that it showed some kind of commotion on the left of the video, but it really wasn't clear. So it was a lot. What you were dealing with athletes and that testosterone and that aggressive mindset because they football players are running track. And from my understanding, it started raining. Yes. And he went under the tent. Carmelo did, I guess, to get out of the rain.
Yeah.
And those opposing team, that was supposedly their tent.
Yes.
And so they saw him there and they had an issue with him. And I didn't like the way the news framed it. He went under Metcalf's tent. It was not that guy's tent or his brother. It was the school's tent. And that should have been for anyone, not just specific because it's for this particular team, but it was a rainstorm or what have you, and somebody came in for shelter. That's where the problem started. They took that territory, get out of my tent, get out of our tent.
And they worded it to sound horrible, just like they do Katrina, just like they do anything else. They worded it to sound horrible, like he trespassed. But
exactly.
I was thinking about it. I'm like, how he gonna trespass at his own damn school? That was at his school. That other team was invited there. You can't trespass on your own. You are enrolled in that school. So, I mean, he just went under a tent to get out of the rain. And I feel like he did right by, when it happened, he went straight to his coach and said, I hope nothing happened. I hope he'll be okay, but this is what I did. He never ran from responsibility. He never said, oh, okay, I didn't do. He owned up to it because he knew he had did something, but it was to protect myself.
Yep, they say that he told the police when they came that he said something about, I did it. So he confessed to saying that he did it because he said alleged. He said, no, it wasn't alleged. I did it. Right. So it was some kind of remorse there, but it was verbiage going back and forth. you got to move. No, you make me, that type of thing. I ain't going nowhere. And that's how it escalated. But I think that's the important part that we have to learn or stress or emphasize to our children and as adults, how to de-escalate things, because you cannot bring a resolve when you up. Both can't be up. It's going to be rah, 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 rah. It's got to level down so we could hear and try to understand and let rationale come in and play a part.
It was so bad. I think about this point as well, though, when I talk about his attorney ain't shit. You are in this county that's a conservative white town. Everyone knows. I think about now the case in Georgia, the Appalachia school shooting with Colin Gray, whatever the little boy name is. Because of all the news coverage, he's getting his trial moved to another county. Why was that not a fight for Carmelo Anthony? You could have moved that. That trial should have probably been moved because all of those jurors, their kids probably went to school with him.
Yeah, they could have just change of venue, and you're right. But again, maybe they could use that for ground of appeals.
Well, I hope that's in the appeal because we were just listening to the news and I was like, Colin's going to Augusta County. And I was like, wait a minute, how he get to go to another county for his? It's just like wow. And we know he did it. He killed 4 people.
Yeah,
his daddy got sentenced, and I think that's gonna be messed up too. I don't know where I heard this, and this is speculation. I'm sure they were saying that he is not. He's looking to face only 30 years for his murder, but his daddy got 40 years. His daddy got a big old sentence, and I'm like, why is the daddy got such a big sentence, and he gonna get less than the daddy, and he the one who did it?
So I'm not familiar.
His daddy I appeal.
Yeah, I'm not
the one here in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm not familiar.
Well,
with
the reason why the daddy would get the lesser sentence because he
didn't. No, the daddy got the bigger sentence. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's because he provided the gun.
Overstood. What I'm saying is,
and he had been.
That little boy is only facing 30 years. No, the little boy is only facing 30 years. His daddy got, if I'm not mistaken, was it 30 or 40 years? Why is his daddy?
He's still a minor. He's still a minor.
I can give a shit.
Yeah, he's still a minor, but the dad had been informed. The sheriff had been to the house. They knew the boy was having a mental meltdown. They knew that he bought that gun for him for Christmas that December when school started back that following year. He went in there and killed them people.
Overstood. I didn't do it. I accept my responsibility as a parent and take some time, but that little nigga who playing that shit and went in that school should get more time than I get because he did it. And
I feel like they should get equal time. Me personally, I think they should get equal time.
I'll take that more than he get to get out before I do.
He wasn't even being bullied. He was just angry.
A bully.
He was just mad. Mad at people. Mad because things weren't going his way at school.
I'll take equal time better than I would that boy get out before I do.
But even with Carmelo Anthony, if they strike the appeal, that doesn't exonerate him. That means another trial, and the same evidence or what have you will still go forth. I think just based on what I heard from this attorney, from that equal force of law, I still think he's going to be found guilty.
He'll probably be found guilty because they're in a racist town.
Because it's not just that; it's his actions.
And it's the legal.
Well, I mean, so what you telling me? Because if you find yourself, say you're in a restaurant. You get 2 white men walk up to you, you feel it in your spirit, you know they finna get ready to put hands on you. And you take action to protect yourself, and you're wrong for that?
If you throw the first punch, yeah, you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm supposed to stand there and wait for you to hit me and knock my ass the fuck out? Then I wake up out of my daze and then come back and try to defend myself?
Well, by the law, if you can escape, you're supposed to escape.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I always tell my kids, let them throw the first punch because they the one that's gonna get.
No, because the first punch could take you out. I'm not gonna stand here and wait for you to hit me.
And you know what? That's fine. If that's your stance, that is fine because it's what we say in the hood. I'd rather be tried by 12 than carried by 6.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but then you be willing to take the consequences of a not guilty or guilty and spend the rest of your life in prison because you cannot escape.
But he don't deserve 35 years. He don't.
I don't know if he did or not, because again, he could have gotten life. They could have went for the death penalty. It's many things that could have happened. I don't think he's gonna get away from that equal force of the law. I don't think so.
I don't think so.
All right, I can see maybe 5 years and some probation.
But
or
that's
whatever.
you.
But you gonna just take this man's life away because he defended himself?
It was a crime, because
I'm with I criminally negligent homicide. I feel like should be the max. And again, that's me. I'm not.
But see, if the situation had been the other way around, and it was two black boys standing up there,
and it was proven. What you about to say is right. It was proven.
And that white boy standing there weighing 150, and they getting ready to pounce on his ass. It would have been a whole total different story.
It would. He would have got 10 years, like the little white boy did the other day. The little white boy got 10 years for criminally negligent homicide for a crime that he planned out. So yes, you're right. It would have been totally opposite. And all I'm saying is, if you're gonna do that for the exact same crime, which was stabbing somebody, that's what Carmelo should receive, that or less. It should not be more.
I really don't. I mean, I view it so, and I see. I see what y'all saying. Y'all want to go with the law and what the law say and all that, but I don't see it that way, because in fights throughout my life, and I know I'm standing there in position, getting ready to fight. I'm going in first, because if you could strike me, hit me in the temple or something, I'm dead. I'm out of here. I'm not about to let you do that to me. So I'm gonna go in first. Whoever win, whoever lose. But I'm going in first. I'm not gonna sit there and wait. That boy knew they were getting ready to kill him.
Yeah,
and he went in first.
Yes, he did.
I get all that. All I'm saying is you still have to remember there's consequences, and that's just the way it is. So again, they did say something that both parents, it's a sad tragedy all the way around, because both families' life has been upended. They've received death threats. Anthony's family had to leave their house several times. The judge received death threats, and the racial divide is up now at a high temperature in that particular county and city or state, what have you. And a child's life is gone. He's never ever coming back.
2 children.
Yeah, but he's still here, because dead is wait a minute.
Up for 35
Wait a minute. Dead is final. Carmelo has a chance of coming out at the age of 50, give or take, or if
not with those twins, Uncle being the warden, cuz they
can move him, but they can move it from that. If he got a good attorney and get the NAACP and those people involved, they could get it moved from that. But the other thing is that even if he gets a new trial, he still can stand the potential of getting out earlier, because it could be a lesser sentence than the 30 years. Like Shakira said, charge him with that particular charge, which would be less years. So again, if all that being said, he still will be here. However, his life mentally could be never the same, because you can't live unless you're a monster with blood on your hands, because they say this boy was sobbing when he realized what happened. He was in shock. But I do give him credit. He did finish high school during that time he was on
with a 3.7 GPA.
Yeah, he was a smart guy, and he was on the right track. I just think it's an unfortunate tragedy that happened. And my heart goes out to both families, but I know they're racist. Even the father of Metcalf, he got on, talked about Carmela's mother, called her the B word, and called the daddy the P word.
Yes, called her a drunk bitch.
Yep, and
called Carmelo a watermelon felon. We're gonna insert that.
But he's hurting. That's the way he erases, but he's hurting because his child is gone. And if you ever have a loved one to die and be murdered, killed, it take your grief and it take your understanding and hatred to another level. It happened to my nephew, was gunned down at 25. And I don't hate that guy, but I have absolutely zero for him. Nothing. So it's a whole nother level of grief from a murder.
Well,
I can
according to one of
understand.
the family friends on TikTok, he gave his view about it. He actually raised them to be bullies. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
He put them in that arena and raised them to be bullied, especially against Black people. You know what I'm saying? Never have he taught them to never have respect for Black people. You don't have to show them nothing. You can beat on them. You can hit on them. You'll get away with it. Everything is good. So my thing is, I don't know. I guess I just see it differently because I don't have a problem with blood being on my hands. If you're trying to do me and I'm going to defend myself and do you back, I don't have no problem with that. I don't have no problem with. I'm fighting for me.
I don't have a problem with self-defense, but the only thing that I'm saying is, in that self-defense, and you're still around, you be prepared for the legal consequences. That's all.
Only when you're Black. Only when you're Black.
Well, it's their country. They're running it.
Only when
as far as his father goes, it's a whole interview that he did, and it was horrible.
Horrible. He talked bad about Black people.
The internet tried to take it down. Facebook yesterday, was it yesterday or the day before? They were trying to take it down, but look, we were screen recorded shots of it. I have reposted some of it because it needs to be said. And I agree with what you said, and another commentator or content person said it. He's hurting. There was a gag order, and he couldn't talk about it. So now that he's able to, he's getting it all out. Yeah. And I sat back and I thought about it, and I understand that level of hurt, especially as a child. I don't want to say I understand because I haven't had that type of loss, but you see, you hear what I'm trying to say. I understand.
But he set him up for failure. He set him up for failure.
But in his level of parenting, he don't feel like he set his kids up for failure. He felt like he was being a good parent, and to lose your child, regardless of what you set them up for, is going to be a hurt that cannot be taken.
It never goes away.
It never goes away. So I do understand him being upset, and now he's able to talk about it. However, the things that he said, was real ugly.
Oh, yeah, he talked about Black people. He said, we're nothing. We have given y'all everything, and y'all still not satisfied. Oh,
but
man.
He did another. It's some white guy. I want to see if I can find this video as well. I was scrolling on TikTok at crazy hours in the morning, but a guy that the daddy went off on because the boy was using Austin Metcalf's picture and to create a whole nother group of hate, a whole nother group of this is what happened when we let Black folks get free. And so the daddy responded to him like, wait a minute, don't use my kid's picture for that. This is not what he is for. This is not what we stand for. I was angry and upset. I said some shit. That don't give you the right to use my son's image or me to push your hate.
Yeah, to promote.
To me, that said that he know he was wrong, but he can't step back from it. He know that he was wrong, and that's how he feel, and he know he should have kept that shit inside. That he don't want nobody else going. So I give him about that much grace, and that much. Because I also have to think about, as a parent, the hurt that he's going through. And he had to still live through the loss of his kid through this trial. Now
you can't be a monster, raise monsters, and then want people to have sympathy for you.
When he raised that monster, as a parent, I don't think that he was saying, let's raise this monster. This is the monster. No, I'm going to instill
man. You know these white folks raise their children, racist ass white folks raise their children to be that.
But what I'm saying is, they don't see it as something bad. They're trying to instill values in their children. Whether it's fucked up and bad to us, they're trying to instill these values, just like we instill certain values in our kids. So when we take emotion out of it, they're just giving their kids that, just like we give our kids religion, just like we tell our kids that they got to work 2 times as hard to get half as far. Those are values that we instill in our kids, and we're not being negative by it. That's just, it is what it is. And I feel like it's the same goes for the bullshit that he taught his kid. It's bullshit to me. But to him,
and I think in the
was
black
what they
community,
needed
we
to
make
get
so
by.
many excuses for. We always have excuses for the wrongdoing of these blue-eyed, blonde-haired devils.
No,
we
we're not
always
excuses for
try
us
to come
too.
along and and make it and make it seem like, oh yeah, but da 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 da. No, we need to stop with the excuses for these devils. They are destroying us. And we always give them grace and have understanding. This man raised them boys to be bullies.
But who's asking for grace? I'm not asking for grace for the bullshit that he instilled. I'm asking for grace. I'm asking for grace as a parent who is still grieving, because that's something totally separate. You can't replace.
What he deserve grace for?
Hmm?
Why would he? Why he deserve grace?
Just like any parent who's lost a child deserves grace.
But why would you send your child out there to be a monster?
Again, when you instill those things in your child, if that's your belief, you're not feeling like you're building them to be a monster. Because as a parent, you don't want to raise a monster. You want to raise somebody that has the core beliefs that you have, that you're trying to push to them so they can go out in society and be something else.
So when the white racists start teaching their kids at 5 and 6 years old to wear the sheet over their head, call black people niggas or whatever case may be, they're instilling that in them at a young age. And that's okay. That's okay.
Nope. Didn't say it was okay. Not at all. That's where two different I don't want to say perspectives, but I guess you could say perspectives. That's where two different perspectives come in. From a worldly view, when you look at it and you putting your emotion in it, and I guess right and wrong, and you putting all that in it, that's fucked up. Why would you tell a child to go out there and hate? Why would you tell a child to go out and do this?
Because that's what the mama is.
But when you isolate it and look at it just from a parental standpoint, what parents, our job is to raise productive citizens. Our job is to give kids our values. Our job is to give kids ideas. Our job is to give kids tools to go out and be somebody in the world. If the tools that I have,
protect themselves by any means necessary,
if the tools that I have are hate, then that's what the tools I'm going to give my child. Because in my eyes, as a person who's a hater, I don't feel like it's hate. I feel like that's what got me through, so that's what I'm going to give my child. In the world as a whole, that's some fucked up shit. Why would you tell your child to hate somebody? So it's like
they get so many passes. They do. I mean, as a
but I'm not saying
I don't think she's giving them a...
No, I'm not saying her. I'm saying if you like, I'm on social media. It's millions of black people out there that agree with y'all. Like they stand with y'all. He need to do some time. It's millions of black people out there all over social media. They standing with the twins. They think Carmelo Anthony was just totally wrong. He should have just let them beat on him first. Okay, one man was like, well, he could have just took the whooping and walked away. Why would he take a whooping and walk away from when you talking damn near 500 pounds to 150 pounds?
I'm not giving it a pass, though, when I say it that way. I'm saying at the end of the day, the result of this action is going to end up in the legal system. And so therefore we have to deal with the consequences in the legal system, not in the streets. In the streets, we would say as niggas or as people who just say common sense, let that nigga go. Because them crackers was about to beat his ass. He need to let him go. But because this went to a legal system, we have to look in the eyes of a legal structure. What charges are put on what happened? What happened is these two big monkey-bound gorilla cracker boys came at this little bitty boy and he protected himself. Now, does that mean he gets off free? No. Why? Because somebody lost their life at the end of the day. If he would have just fought back or took that book bag and swung him up against the head, knock him off or something, this probably wouldn't have went that far. But because that boy
I know. I see what you're saying. But I guess I'm from a different
how about just leaving the tent and don't say nothing to him?
Now,
it started raining.
I would have said something. I'm sorry.
Well, we know that. We know all that, but I'm
friends
just
that
saying.
attended that school told him, said, "Come on, dude, we're gonna sit up under our tent." That attended that school said, "Let's sit up under this tent." They didn't want him sitting up under the tent.
But they didn't have
we
one.
know that. We talked about that when you had stepped out. But I'm just saying, as far as ways that it didn't have to escalate. That's all I'm saying. Because again,
it was going to either be him,
not necessarily,
or one of them. Yes, it was, because they were going to be in the jail. They had already made up their mind.
I think the main thing is the fact that a life was lost. Because, like I said, if he would have took that book bag and swung and whipped their ass or knocked that tent over or something, this probably would have never hit the news.
He wouldn't have made it out of those bleachers. He wouldn't have made it out of those bleachers. Because the others that were standing there instigating and pushing, egging the twins on, they would have chased his ass. They would have chased him down. He would have never made it out those bleachers. He wouldn't have made it.
Well, you're not a psychic. We don't know. We just guessing.
It ain't about it being psychic, but I done been in enough fights growing up in Memphis in the projects to know. If they would chase
that wasn't Memphis. That was Texas. So we really don't know. It's still at the same time. It's a God awful situation. Again, you have somebody who is gone, never to ever come back. And you have this young life that has to face adult penitentiary for 30 years, 35 years at best. And then you have two families whose lives are upended.
I have no remorse for whoever.
Well, I mean, that's fine, but just remember.
I don't have no remorse for people.
Yeah, but that's fine. But just remember.
And then they get their ass whooped or they get killed.
But just
now
remember,
people feel sorry
the
for them.
moral arc of the universe bend towards justice. If you desire grace, then you have to give grace. If you don't desire, then don't give grace. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not talking about the father or his racist rhetoric, none of even the bully white boys, if they were. I'm saying far as a grieving parent, his child is gone. That's got to be an awful, awful hurt. That's all I'm saying.
You know, you get out what you
and that's fine.
Out, you
if you don't want to, that's your business.
Saying, the daddy put it out. You send your boys out there to be bullied. You lost one of them, sit in it. That's how I feel about it.
And that's fine. If that's how you feel, that's fine.
But on a happier note,
unfortunate.
On a happier note, I have to say, I think our people are understanding the assignment that was put forth to them after the Asian guy did his rant the other night, talking about they don't need black business, we don't need y'all money. Because when I say that black nail salons have been overpacked, overbooked, overbusy for the last 4-5 days, and I was so happy to see, because I was sending that list out. I was sending that list to everybody. I had a list from Vegas, LA, Carolina, Michigan. I had a list, and I was sending it out. And I'm happy to positive coming back. Nothing but positive.
And that's good. But the question is, will they keep it up?
Well,
see, we need movements, not moments.
Right. I get that, but that's a start. That's a start. So maybe they understand.
That's what I said. Will they keep it up?
One girl did come on there and say, "I'm sorry, but I can't deal with the black people because they charge too much." But they did have somebody that came on there and told them, "Look, don't raise y'all prices. Don't be price gouging. Don't do that. Go with market value." You know what I mean? Keep it like it's supposed to be. They did have a couple people came on there and stressed that. But, like the black girl said, she don't like doing business with black people, and then that's fine. So that's one out of however many more, because you're going to have some more. It's probably 15, 16,000, 20, 100 million more that don't want to do business with black. But I'm happy to say that all weekend, ever since he made that statement on Tuesday and Wednesday, these businesses are so. And look, it's some nail salons in Atlanta I didn't even know was black owned, and I've been here almost 44 years.
It's a lot of them. But then the sad part is they didn't want you to know that they black owned, but they bumping, they jumping. They didn't want you to know because there are people who don't do business with black people, which is unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. Us, we have our little ways and we have our things and we don't want to deal with. I get all of that. And also what I am learning, being a black-owned business that provides a service, our prices are a little higher because we had to pay the higher prices and we don't have the volume that they have. The Asians got the volume where they can charge $50 for a pedicure versus $70 for a pedicure because they get their stuff in bulk from their cousin over there overseas, and they, they can get a better price, and we don't have that. And I think that's one thing that we have to keep in consideration when we say their prices are higher, because they do tend to be a little bit higher.
Well, I think I've had experience in the hair salon part of it, not more so the nail part of it. I did that in the 20s and realized all that infection, you ain't doing but setting your body up for failure. But in the nail, it's like they want to charge. You got some of them that want to put that charge on Black people just because. You know what I'm saying? Just because. So that's why I was glad that the lady that was on TikTok, the little rep, she was representing. She was the one that started the list, and she was trying to, and like she told them, keep it at fair market value. You know what I mean? And let them give you tips, and you get your extra. Don't now that they coming to us now. So now you gonna go from this to that when yesterday you was this, and now today you want to go to that because you're getting the business. I'm just happy to see that there are still some people out here that believe in Black entrepreneurship, that believe in Black business, and they showed up last week and did their thing. Now, are they going to stay with it? Who knows? Probably not. You know what I'm saying? Because Black people, attention span ain't but like this. You know what I'm saying? They're going, if they run into an event or something, her nail break, and the Black girl can't get her, but the Asian people ain't got nobody in there, she going to them Asian people regardless to get her nail fixed. That's just how people wired. You know what I'm saying? But
I think because we also, like Anthony said, it's a moment. If we don't continue to push it,
it won't do anything.
It won't keep going. So we have
to get some money this week.
we gotta keep supporting them. We got to.
Because the little nail girl up here in the area where we are in Kennesaw, I went online. I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do just a manicure and pedicure. You know what I'm saying? I was gonna go to her, and my God, when I opened up her books, she booked all the way to the first week of September.
Good. See, I love to see that. I've even seen a few who have changed their who have buildings who have changed their structure, because a lot of us as well, we book by appointment only. Right. So they don't have the walk-in like the Asians do. So I've seen a lot of them have gotten together to where they can accommodate walk-ins and things like that, because that does help us. I think that's really how the Asians have built their
it's just by walking in.
Just by walking in. There is no set customer. There is no set, I have my special people. Where for us it is individual.
And I do like businesses that offer the appointment only. They seem to do a better job because they take their time and they pour.
You also got to realize that's why their prices are higher too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know they take their time, but you want a quick fix. You want them to move fast. Then your Asians is where to go. But I like the appointment only because it lasts longer, and it just seems like it's a little bit different than when you just run in and get a rush job, rush out.
Yeah, very much so. Very much.
So shout out to Black businesses here in Atlanta, Detroit, Memphis, everywhere. Because boy, last week y'all made some money. If y'all don't make no more this year.
Well, I will say let's put up some businesses in areas just randomly. We can put them out there, and because baby, I didn't realize it was so many.
In Kennesaw.
I can't help y'all with the nails and stuff.
Yeah, no, you can't help with that.
You notice I was silent. I ain't got nothing to say. This is my manicure.
You can help with the barbershop part of it.
Yes, help with the barbershop. We can get some of those out there.
This is it. I don't do baddies. That ain't my thing. Yeah, for those what they call metrosexual guys that do it, hats off to you. I ain't got no problem with it. It just ain't my thing.
I don't really think a man. I think men, it's okay for them to go get a pedicure and a manicure.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. I just said it ain't my thing. Yeah. I have no problem. I don't have dirt under my nails. Dial soap and lotion works fine for me.
Well, I haven't had a manicure and pedicure since I went to the Bahamas in 23. But I was saying by the little girl just being around, the young lady being around the corner, you know what I'm saying? I would, go and just get a regular, nothing else. All I need is just manicure, pedicure. That's it. I don't need no gel, acrylic. I don't need none of that. I don't need no polish. I don't even need polish. Clear, you put some clear on my toes and I'm out.
Call it a day. I don't do it
All
either.
of the day.
I stopped after COVID. Well, with COVID, I went back to get a set, and I always used to get S&S, a very short sport length set, plain color, no bedazzling and all of that. And that man told me $75. I said, excuse me? Because before COVID, I was paying $50 for what I got. And I thought that was high then because it's literally sports length. I can ball my fist up. And he said $75. I said, don't worry about it. And I ain't been back to him. No, I'm not paying.
Even the Asian salons, they got crazy after COVID. They got crazy. But see, the difference is, like that law you were talking about the other day, Shakara, that took place in 68, 69, that law where when different races would come to America in order to get the grant money from government, they had to set up shop only in Black communities. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's how they got rich. They rich now. They're
rich. No. Hey, what's the name of it?
It's the model.
But you can't be mad at them. They took advantage of the situation and it worked for them.
I'm not mad at
them.
I'm not even mad at President Trump. I'm not mad at Trump because he's now
it's after one. I ain't doing him. I was up the clock on the time.
All right, you two. They want to boot me off now. They want to boot me off, and they're ready to wrap this thing up, guys.
Not him.
You two
not him. Not him.
We have some events coming up, and we will get them out to you guys because we have a trunk party coming up July 12th. And we're probably gonna have a hat and tea coming up in August. So we have some things coming up, and we're gonna get it all out to you guys. And we'll have the location, and we might even do a wine tasting. I think that'd be great. Wine tasting, yeah.
I'm gonna have to fly down there one of these days, and we'll do it a live event or something, so we can all be together.
Right. Yes. We should put together a wine tasting.
Well, I can't do the wine, but I say get your husband, Chicago, get the two brothers you had on, and let us all get together and do our podcast somewhere.
Yeah, we can do that.
We can definitely do that. That'll be a good plan. We gotta plan that out.
Let's look towards maybe the fall-ish, maybe.
Okay. Before it gets too cold.
Yeah.
Before it gets too cold. Yeah. That's what I say. Yeah. All right, YouTube world, Instagram, TikTok. We love you guys. We love everybody. Things are gonna get better. We thank the ones for hanging in there with us, even the ones that be griping. We love you as well. Just hang in there. Things get better with time. It takes time, you know, and you know, it is what it is because we have lives. I mean, we have to go to work. We have to do so, you know. But Shakara's daughter's going off to college this year. So, yeah, things are going to be a little different going forward. But we're here. We may be back for a Father's Day. But we'll let you know. Maybe we can have something special for you for the Father's Day. How about that?
Mm-hmm. That'll be fun.
That'll be great. We got to brew something in the pot.
Recognize the old pops.
Yes. OG's real. Yep. OG's all the OG.
Have a good weekend, y'all.
Have a great week, everybody. Don't work too hard. Work smart. And we're off on Friday.